we had to work very closely and take liberties wherever we wanted, so that the entertainment aspect of the film is not lost, the communication aspect is not lost. So it's basically a movement. If you see, the film is very simple. It's one movement panning, and then it comes back with the car, and then it goes up to the Sulega.com in the skies.
Yeah.
So it's very basic. I mean, there is no zoom, whatever, all those kind of things are not there, because the distance, viewing distance from the scroll is kept a constant. The events are happening at one level rather than in between. He had done some cuts which you will not feel because of the cinematic cutting, but the format is that, basic format is that. There is a close-up of that lady and the gift sequence and all happens, and then there is a shot of this guy talking, but you will not notice it like a cut. There is no camera movement as such, which just goes in and out kind of a thing, which makes it like a 3D world. We are not trying to do it like a 3D world. It is one. It's made of 2D layers. You could say that. That's the way we have constructed the film. And the music, I worked with a dummy music, and I work very closely with music because in any of our films, if you look at it, our audio tracks are completely, has a very different appeal. And I feel that music and sound design plays an equal part in all the animation films, because you are actually giving life to something that doesn't have life, and when you're putting audio, it gains that much amount of life, whether it is in the texture of the voice that you put, like how how Vaibhav had done in Simpu, when we were doing Simpu for Channel V. At that point of time, that was a different kind of life that you gave that character. But if you imagine that Simpu character without that kind of a voice and a regular kind of a voiceover that you hear in the ads, it might not work out.
Definitely.
It wouldn't have half the appeal that it has. So we've been very conscious. Even all the films that we have done for Simpu, Vaibhav has been dubbing, and because he knows how to imitate that kind of a character. So when we sold Simpu to Channel V, we were very particular that this voice goes with it, because there is no other shortcut to be done on that. So in terms of music, in terms of voicing, we are very particular about. So I work with this very nice friend of music director friend of mine. His name is Jolly, and he does most of our work, because I like to spend good time to actually explore and finalize thing. It's not like I'm not sure about it. I work on a very clear reference track, and which, if Jolly agrees to that, we kind of simulate the feel. We just try and get the same feel translated with a completely different set of instrumentation and melody and rhythm, etc. So that was the final icing on the cake. So that's how Sulega.com film has happened, and from the day it was made, we all knew very clearly that's a winner. So there is, it just makes us feel happy that every time it is winning or getting nominated. Today it is nominated in at Annecy 2009. It is Anima Mundi. It is also nominated. It won AdFest, Asia Pacific AdFest. It's a big award, because from India, very few films have won that award, and this, for the first time, an animation film has won in a film category. It's not won for the animation technique or crafting or anything. It is won in the film category, and it's won a silver, and there was no gold. So that award, that was the highest award that they gave, and it's considered a very big benchmark.
Definitely.
In the ad circuit, that festival. And this weekend Goa Fest is happening. I'm expecting we might win something there also. So and yeah, we are just hoping that it wins more and more awards, because it just boosts my team's enthuse and confidence. And I'm very happy that we did what we did at that point of time, and didn't go for any compromise due to lack of time, resources, or anything like that. We didn't have also any time constraint on this film.
Yeah.
No deadline, because it's our baby. So there was nobody to actually tell us that do it fast, or so mostly that's one of the deterrents that sometimes happen in terms of a quality delivery.
It's basically more of the time and the passion that you give it.
Correct.
Nothing being there on your head, you just devoting everything to it.
Sometimes it can also go completely out of control also. Because when you don't have a boundary, then you are just keeping on exploring. You don't come to a final structure at all. That's also a problem. But in this case, we are lucky. I would truly say that we are lucky to crack the structure early enough. And it actually, I would call myself lucky to have my team, having that much confidence in my idea and my treatment for the film, that they were enthusiastic, and they could keep that enthusiasm sustained for a span of 3 months, which is a long time, and they kept it intact, and they were, in fact, towards the end, I was getting fatigued, and they were telling me, Suresh, we have done so much, why don't we also do this much? So there were suggestions coming to me like that. So it was so encouraging. So there's a lot of elements in the film has been added, because people have been telling me, we've done so much, why not do this much more? It's okay. So there are so many things that are done to this film. There are so many layers that you can find every time you watch, which are like secondary, tertiary. And there are many levels of detailing that has been done to this film.
What is next for you now? What project are you working on?
We're working, we've been very lucky to work with Cartoon Network. We are one of the 3 companies that are selected to develop local content. So that is something which I'm really looking forward to, that we've done a short film for them, which should be soon released in a couple of months' time. And all of you will be knowing about it soon. Right now I'm not allowed to disclose much of detail. Apart from that, I'm hoping that I've been working on a feature film since 5 years now, and I hope it doesn't become like the earlier ventures that we had done. We were too early that time. I agree that 2005 was too early for any company to think of an animated feature film in this country, and I have thought not of a cute film or a funny film. It's a dark action thriller kind of a film. I hope that's a dream project, if I can do that. A feature film which one is working for so many years. Now I stopped working on it, because whatever work is done is good amount of work, and I'm just waiting. It's not a good time today because of the recession to actually work on that kind of a feature. And I'm also looking forward to many good films releases, animation films releases in the country, so that the expectation parameters also go up. So that we don't see crappy feature films coming out and again and again. There should be some amount of screener that happens. People should be ashamed to make the kind of bad films that they make. So I hope there are some nice films that are coming up in animation which is produced in India, and I hope some of those films will actually elevate the standard of animation content. So, and also the expectation amongst the audience. The moment the audience starts rejecting bad films, that will be a lesson for all these quick buck ventures to stop.
Definitely.
So I'm hoping someday you will see a feature film from us.